We were soaked, mud-covered, tired and cold, but only in Alaska. It throws rain at you, winds off the bay, slippery trails through ancient forest, and you still feel lucky that you're there. Because it's not just the views, it's a feeling. The wilderness, the quiet, the way the mist hangs in the trees. This day wasn't perfect by any means, but it was better because we were in Alaska. Just look at the smiles on our face. Can you tell how much fun we had? Please watch as you see our adventure in Sitka, Alaska. Before we start our adventure, we stop in town to see what Sitka has to offer. Hi, welcome to Harbor Happy Hour. Tammy and I travel the world getting off at cruise ports to see and have some of the most wonderful adventures. We look forward to you joining us as we cruise the world. Please subscribe and like. Turn on the notification bell. Let's get started with our next great adventure.
Deb and I went shopping, and Randy and Trevor found the Sitka Alaska Prospector Monument. It's a 12-foot tall bronze statue called the Prospector. It depicts a gold rush era sourdough carrying his supplies and is intended to memorialize the pioneers of Alaska's gold rush. Mangiara Bar and Grill is a stylish Italian restaurant located in the Sitka Hotel. It offers a fusion of Italian cuisine with Alaskan ingredients. It opened in December of 2021. Some menu highlights are the Italian classics with Alaskan flair, such as salmon Alfredo, lemon crab linguine, rack of lamb, halibut nuggets, and seafood chowder. Here is a look at their menu.
Here it is the four of us having a drink. We had 2 ambers, a blonde, and a rum. From here, we headed back to the ship to get our rain gear because we knew it's going to be a wet day to start our adventure. Headed out for the bicycle hike trip in Sitka. And now the tour leaves at 12:30. Back at 3:30, back to the port. It's a very short walk from the ship. You have to go through somewhat of a cruise terminal, gift shop / welcoming center. And you see the buses just on the outside here. This is where we board the bus to take us across Sitka. This is our tour guide for the day in Sitka. What an amazing tour guide. Thanks, Silas, for a wonderful day in Sitka. Here we are getting ready to get our bikes going. Randy's getting fitted for his bike. Tammy stands over on the side waiting their turn as they get all of us fitted for the day of riding bikes and then going for a hike in the forest. Look at Randy's face here. Does it look like, gosh, I'm sure glad we're friends and you drugged me along on this thing. So one of the advantages of being the person that takes most of the videos and most of the photography is that you're not the one being filmed when you're getting started on the bike for the day. It was kind of fun to tease each other about. We didn't look too stable to begin with, but the day was fun as we rode around in the rain in Sitka. The group stops to take a look to see if there's some wildlife.
Oh, whale. Straight up. Stay right here. It's right there. Right there. Oh, no, is it a...
So this was not part of a whale watching tour by any means as we're riding bikes, but as we get coming around the corner, the group stops to take a look, believing we see a few whales that are there. As I look back through the video, really don't see much, just see some seagulls landing in an area. Might be some sea lions, but still a gorgeous view from coming around the corner here. The rain had let up just a little bit during this time, so it was nice to stop and take a look. Another stop just a few minutes later.
We stopped here along the way for a whale. I don't know if we got a picture of it or not. There's the group in front, and there's the group in back, and we're all wet, but we're having a good time. There's 10 of us today. Pretty good times. So it's been raining the whole day while we've been out. Got on the bus about 12:15. I think it was about 12:40 we got out. It's sitting here at nearly 3 o'clock. Out in the rain, but it's been a great day. Like I said, there's a group of 10, and they're stopping along the way looking for whales. Got a look back there, but I don't know if I got a picture of it now. We'll try to get it right here. We got one right behind us. Holding up a little bit, but there they come. Yep, they're coming around the corner. Yeah, I understand. I stop. I see them right there. Yep. There's Randy and Deb up front. And the guide. A little fogged in right here. Coming down the hill. The tour guide. One of the guys in the back.
Spectacular views as the four of us bike and enjoy the beautiful views. On to the hike. As we park the bike and get ready for the hike, the rain comes down heavier and heavier. Here is Silas giving us the instructions about the hike, talking about being careful with our footing because it'll be a little slippery as we go through, talking about possibility of bears, and making sure that our job was to protect the tour guide surrounding him. Everybody had a good laugh, but a little nervous, thinking that we're going to go in the wilderness and there's possible bears. As we hike, we come into a clearing in the forest, an area where we get to see the lake and the beautiful reflection of the mountains across the water. What a gorgeous day. It may be raining, but it was still beautiful. As we go back into the forest, Silas gives us the background and the history of the rainforest here in Alaska.
Second generation growth, right? So a lot of people like to ask me, how do our forestry grow here? Because it's very, very unique compared to most other places you're going to go to. So, remember how I was talking about that volcanic ash and how we have super shallow soil system? All the roots have to grow outward. So from that, in about a month or two is when our storms are going to be rolling through. Now, we have very heavy winds that come through Sitka that time of year, up to 75 mile per hour winds, borderline hurricane. It's wild. So in those winds coming through, it will push around all of our trees and they'll start to dance in the wind. And because they're so shallow rooted, they can't really stay in the ground very good, especially when it rains and it tends to drown out a lot of that soil. So the trees will dance, eventually those roots will, right, slowly get pushed out of the ground until a big enough gust comes through, just gets ripped right out of the forest floor and crashes over it. Because all of the roots are widespread here, it tends to intertwine with other roots of trees. So when one falls, it pulls out the roots of another tree, causes a domino effect. In that action happening, you'll have the seeds and the spores get crashed all over the forest floor. And because our soil is so acidic here, our new generation, for the most part, has to rely on the nutrients that's in the old generation tree before it's big enough to put its roots into the soil. So, looking right behind me here, you see this big fallen over tree with a bunch of these baby trees growing out of it. This right here is our main way on how we get our growth. This is what's called nursery logging or nursery trees. And like I said, because of that volcanic ash, our new generation has to rely on the nutrients that's still inside these fallen over trees. Super interesting. It's also why it takes a long time for our trees to regrow here. It takes about 250 years to see our new generation of trees come around. Very long time. These guys are probably at the 70, 80 year mark right now. I'm guessing they need about another 150 years before it's at its full growth point, right? So wild to think that those tiny trees are over 50 years old, huh? So as it takes the nutrients from that big tree, it's gonna grow nice and tall like the trees right next to it, to the point where those roots can go around the tree and embed into the soil, right? And it's actually gonna look a lot like this tree right here. So looking at this guy, obviously this isn't a baby tree, right? Very grown-up tree of its own. And it's to the point where you can see those roots are inside the soil. This tree is good to go, ready to do its thing. But if you look in this inside wood here, you kind of see how this wood in the inside looks a bit different from the wood out here. Same as if you're over here, you can see it on the middle right here, all this really soft, gushy wood. So all of this is the old tree that used to sit here before this guy. So this tree is actually growing off of a stump right now. If I was to put my hand up here, top of the stump's right there. So we believe that either a slug or wind, whatever the natural cause was, had that seed lay up on the top of that stump, and then it created that taproot. Time took its course. So if this was the beginning process of the second generation growth, this is kind of the end process. This is after it's taken all the nutrients out from this stump here, ended up growing crazy tall and splitting into two trees you see now. And you can see how the roots went completely around the stump, right? Pretty much surrounded it until it got into the soil. So now this tree's at a point where it's like, well, I don't need that old tree for food anymore. I'm getting all my nutrients from the soil now, right? So with this end process, once this tree is at full growth, that old generation tree, all it has to do is what it was doing is slowly decay and become soil again. That's pretty much our full cycle going through. Very interesting to see, in my opinion, how Mother Nature finds ways to create this forest after even heavy volcanic eruptions like that, right? When you think about it, 10,000 years ago, when all that ash was on the surface, there was basically no nutrient soil for our trees here. So as those thousands of years have been passing, the trees have slowly grown, died, became soil, kind of raised that soil level, and then had that process repeat. After 10,000 years, there's still quite a bit of work to do, right? It's still very, very thin to the soil level. Probably going to be another 10,000 years before it gets to that deep soil point. But it's very unique to see, in my opinion. To put it simply, you just get to watch Mother Nature, use Mother Nature to make more Mother Nature. Pretty dang cool. So as we make our way through, going back to the bikes, make sure to keep your eyes out, because there are some crazy formations that are made with the forest, using the forest to create the forest. Pretty neat.
Randy and I stop and have a drink at the Crab and Chowder at Halibut Point. Here's a copy of their menu. We both had a bowl of chowder and something cold to drink. Here's a view of the inside. Big bar sitting in the shadow of the ship. I don't know that I've ever been in a situation where I've been able to sit so close to the ship and have a beer after a fun day of adventures. Thanks for watching Harbor to Happy Hour. Please like and subscribe